Yesterday, I was asked the question, how do you frame with a low fire so that you can visibly see the beam when you're framing out your project? So I'm going to show you today using the Falcon Pro. It's the same procedure if you're using a different diode laser, and I'm going to show it to you both in Lightburn and then also in the Falcon Design Space. So here we go. I've just got some testing text there to try out. I'm going to go up to Edit, Device Settings, and here you've got an option to the enable laser fire button and laser on when framing. So you're going to toggle that one on and put it at 1%. Now 1% is low enough that the laser will fire so you can visibly see the little red light when it's framing, but not enough power to even mark a piece of paper. So it's the perfect percentage for me. I'm using the 22 watt, the 40 watt and the 60 watt diode laser from Creality, and it's perfect on all three power modes. So I'm going to press OK there. And then when I press frame, I'm going to show you what it looks like on the laser. Here I am at the Falcon Pro, and I've actually disabled this draw alarm so that I can actually show you really close up what you can see when you're framing. Now I've lifted the laser head well above the focal distance so that you can really visibly see that dot, and it is possible to see it through that orange safety glass. So I'm now going to lower it and show you again exactly how it looks when you're framing, because that is a very large dot size, but the actual light when you've lowered it is much more precise. And here it is lowered. Now it is harder to see on the actual video, but you can see that light through that orange safety glass really easily, and it's so precise. It really helps you frame up those materials nicely, and you have a lot less wastage. Now I do still manually do my framing even when I'm using the camera function. Now I've opened up the Falcon Design Space software on my laptop. So it's the same thing. I've got testing text, and when I come down to the frame button, there's a little arrow next to that. If I press on that, it gives me the option to do a single pass when I'm framing or do multiple passes. Sometimes I find clicking multiple passes is easier. And here it is again, the 1% power when I'm framing. So I just come down and I press frame from there, and I get exactly the same visual when I'm framing on the Falcon Pro. Now this is the exact same process that you will use if you're using the Falcon 2 models or even the Creality Falcon A1 and A1 Pro. So I hope that helps and you've learned something today about framing. It makes it a hell of a lot easier to not waste materials and get everything framed really, really well. Having it frame with the visible light is just so much easier. I still do a manual frame, as I said, every time I use the camera function. I always double check my framing because it leads to a lot less wastage. So you can use up small parts of materials, make earrings out of scraps and that type of thing, and framing just becomes so much easier. So thanks for asking that question and hope it helps.